What is up, everybody? You're very welcome along to tonight's Anfield Agenda 10-minute transfer roundup. You know the spiel. I'll talk, you type, comments below, drop a like, hit the subscribe button, and if you want to catch us live, get yourself over to our Twitch channel. Most nights about 8:30 you will find me over there, sometimes joined by Paddy, sometimes joined by Chris, but hopefully soon to be joined by you. So do find the link to our Twitch channel in the description of this video. Right, 10-minute transfer video, start the clock. Where are we with regards to our search for a midfielder? Because we've got in Darwin Núñez. That's happy days. Quick update on the Sadio Mane thing, by the way. That will happen. He's agreed a contract with Borussia Dortmund. Rumoured to be around £360,000 a week. I don't really mind what he's being paid. That's actually of no interest to us as Liverpool fans now, because Sadio will move on. I wish him all the best. I look forward to knocking out Bayern Munich in the Champions League at some point. Sorry, had to do it. But look, where are we with regards to our search for a midfielder? I know that you guys don't live under a rock, and I know that you've seen the links to us and Jude Bellingham. And if you haven't seen them, you've definitely heard me banging on about the lad for long enough. But what got me interested is, I read the Echo today, and there was an interesting little piece in it. And there was one phrase in it that stood out to me. So bear with me when I read out this. And I know some people think I'm quite dull when I read it out, so I'll try my best to get through it quickly. It said, Liverpool showed their hand somewhat with interest in Jude Bellingham before it became clear the midfielder was intent on completing his move to Real Madrid. Upgrading the engine room will now become a priority, with Klopp a huge fan of Jude Bellingham, as am I, by the way, as are you, be honest, I know you are. Any move for the Borussia Dortmund teenager will most likely have to wait until next year. Here's where it gets a little bit exciting. Although the Reds recruitment team will be on standby to react should there be any further developments. Now, the further developments that they're alluding to are the links recently from Real Madrid. Oh, I know. You think to yourself, how greedy can they get? Quite greedy. Not only do they want Camavinga, who they have, not only do they want Mane, it seems like they want, and I'm going to say the phrase, our Jude, because he is destined to play for Liverpool Football Club. So should we be worried about it? I don't think so. But will it happen this summer? The key phrase in here, to me, in that piece I read out, was that Liverpool are ready to act if circumstances should change. Now, is that Borussia Dortmund softening up their stance? Is that the player changing his mind? I don't think so. I think it's, again, like Diaz. Remember, we weren't going to sign Luis Diaz until this summer, but in January, Spurs made their move, forced us to act. And I think that they're alluding to the same thing here with regards to Liverpool and Jude Bellingham. I spoke yesterday as well around Jude Bellingham, and I said to you guys that any deal for him would likely be in September. Having looked into that a little bit more, I think the reason for that is that he'd actually just be old enough to sign a contract then. I think he turned 17, Jude Bellingham, in September, so most likely that's where that figure or that month came about. So that's a whole another day's conversation, because I'm not well enough up on Jude Bellingham yet to say if he's a good fit for Liverpool or not. But sticking with Jude Bellingham, it's a strange one, because it seems that it's Bellingham or nobody, but that we're almost willing to potentially go another window without bringing in a midfielder. So we wanted Mane, we lost out on him. There's been a couple of other names thrown around, but nobody really that I've seen that would do the job in the same way that Bellingham would. So I guess I'm kind of hoping that Real Madrid declare their interest and go after him in this window, because I get the feeling that if we don't sign Bellingham in this window, we may not sign a midfielder, because we probably think, like what we did with centre-backs, and that didn't work out well, like that we did when Gini and Wijnaldum move on, that maybe we can just get through another season and wait. Now, why does Jude Bellingham and Borussia Dortmund not want any potential deal this summer? Well, a couple of reasons. Dortmund don't have a buyout clause in his contract for Bellingham, so they're in no pressure. Unlike Erling Haaland, where Manchester City or any club could have come in, paid the fee, got him out of the club, nothing they can do about it if the player agreed. Bellingham doesn't have that. He has 3 years to run on his Dortmund contract. Next summer, with 2 years to go, that's kind of the time where you look to start selling or negotiating. And it's probably common sense to think that a move back to the Premier League will suit Bellingham, but most likely next summer. And not only that, we have to keep into account as well that in this window, if he moves and he goes to Liverpool, will he play immediately every week? Potentially not. I know he's good, and I know he'll be a long-term success, but it might take him a little bit of time to acclimatise to the way Klopp sets up. We've seen it with Chamberlain. seen it with Robbo, seen it with many other players at Liverpool who then go on to be great successes. Maybe I've stretched it a bit with Chamberlain and success there, but you get my drift. So if Bellingham was to move, he'd be potentially putting at risk a starting place in the World Cup, which is important to him. You know, he shows up for England. He's a young man. He's already been a big part of Gareth Southgate's plans. He's going to want to make sure that he stays in those plans. So with the World Cup starting in late November, probably no need to rock the boat and move in this summer. So I want to know, do we get away with it? Do you think if we don't sign a midfielder and wait for next summer for Bellingham, that we'll be able to compete this season? I was going through the list of midfielders that we have. I think we'd be okay. We would be a little bit reliant on not getting an injury, but the only other midfielder that I was semi-interested in, realistically, was Bissouma. Spurs have agreed a £25 million fee with Brighton for Bissouma, who is going into the last year of his contract, so that's what made the fee so low and why Brighton were willing to sell. Looking around, Barella won't leave Inter, and there isn't really anybody that I think could come in and do the job as well as Bellingham. So I don't think we're going to act for midfielder in this window, but I would be intrigued to see what would happen if Real Madrid put in an offer for Bellingham. Right, we'll move on to speak about a couple of other bits and pieces now. Let's talk about Takumi Minamino. Still waiting for a decision, really, on whether Liverpool will accept the offers that are coming in. There's been interest in him, I believe, from Nottingham Forest, Fulham, Monaco and Wolves. I think I've got those four right. Certainly the strongest interest seems to be coming from Monaco, like I've told you in recent days. £17 million is the fee Liverpool are looking for. I'd seen some mads, I don't want to use bad language, somebody tried to claim on social media that we spent 30 million quid on Takumi Minamino. It was clearly 7.5 million, but if Liverpool sell him for 17 million, then I wonder, do we go and bring in a forward? The reason I ask this is, today, once again, Liverpool have been linked with a move for Rafinha. Rafinha has let it be known he'd like to go to Barcelona. Barcelona are in a pretty messy situation financially at the minute. They have a big announcement coming out tomorrow. Could be that they've had a breakthrough in their finances. Could be De Jong is staying. I don't know what it is. But right now, it looks unlikely that they'll be able to put together the money to get Rafinha. But in saying that, do I think the £60 million mentioned for Rafinha is good value? No, I don't. I'd rather spend that money on Jared Bowen, as an example. Somebody who is, well, English for a start, which I know probably doesn't come across as a big selling point, but we do have to take into account the amount of homegrown players we need in the squad, so it would help with that. I would think he'd be a better fit, personally, into the way that we play. And maybe there's a little deal to be had if Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain wanted to go to West Ham. The fee that Liverpool are believed to be asking, by the way, for Oxlade-Chamberlain is in and around 10 million quid, which I think is fair enough. And I don't think we'll be short of finding somewhere for Alex to relocate. And I wish him all the best if he does move on. Nico Williams was another one that I meant to bring up yesterday. So the asking price that Liverpool are going to look for is £15 million. I would have liked Nico Williams to stay at the club because I think he's a good player. I think he's shown it with Wales as well, and of course on loan at Fulham. But I understand that Nico may want to move on, so if Liverpool get that transfer fee, Nico Williams will go. Again, where to, I don't know. That'll be up to Nico Williams. And I will be sad to see Nico go, because he's just been really unlucky that he's up against Trent for the right back spot, and nobody's going to outdo Trent there, so he'll move on if we get the right fee. A couple of other bits and pieces from our transfers, and Nat Phillips, still to be decided. I mean, I'd seen two competing thought processes today on that. One, that Liverpool are willing to sell Nat Phillips for 15 million quid. And the other, that we're willing to loan him because, as I said to you guys yesterday, Liverpool could look at him as a long-term successor to Joel Matip. Either way, I'm fine with it. If he stays, or well, I mean, if he goes out on loan and then comes back and stays, great. If we sell him, I can understand that as well. It's also been reported today that Liverpool have told Ben Davies, remember him? Remember the guy that we brought in that has been like a hologram or a ghost? Liverpool have apparently told him that he can look for another club, and I don't think that that's really going to be a surprise to anybody. When we signed him, he was very close to agreeing a £500,000 transfer fee to Celtic, so I don't know if Celtic will still be interested or what Liverpool may ask for. Other than that, I think that's where we're at, my friends. We still await news about Naby Keita, whether he will be extending. We believe so. We still await confirmation, of course, of Naby Keita's, or excuse me, not Naby Keita, of Sadio Mane's move to Bayern Munich. And there'll be a few other fringe players Calvin Ramsey, really quickly, still no breakthrough that I'm aware of. I still think Aberdeen are right to ask for every penny that they can get, but as of right now, there seems to be a bit of a stalemate there with regards to the fee. I think it'll get done. I don't think it's any big issue. Our only real competitors from were Leeds. They've signed a right back. So, yeah, look, that's pretty much it. There probably won't be a live transfer update tomorrow because the whole Anfield Agenda crew are going out together for the first time to celebrate. So I will see you guys on Friday. Thank you for watching. Again, hit that subscribe button, drop a like on the video. Bye-bye.